Have you this morning? All right,
Awesome.
all right. Let's get into the conversation, and I'd want to start from here. There's actually an idea behind our conversation today that I find quite important, and it's the whole fact
Mm-hmm.
that quarter one and quarter two are not necessarily the verdict on your year, and the fact that they are data. How useful is it for a business to think about the first half of the year that way?
Thank you very much. I like how you put it. You see, unless the business is not tracking anything, don't have any data on how they've been performing and how the market in which they operate is performing, that data should always be the guide for you to plan successive months. There's something I often say: monitor, measure, and optimize performance. So if you monitor and you measure, you're getting data, okay? And you need to, once you have that data, the question then should be, what are the insights? And insights are what I call actionable observations. From that data, you should see some actionable observations. What should you do? And as we go on, we talk about some of these observations.
Sorry,
Then
unfortunately,
you
sorry.
use
I can
you
answer.
add,
Sorry, sorry. Unfortunately,
yes.
the thing muffled a bit, so I didn't quite hear what you said. Maybe you may want to repeat the last few things you said.
Yeah, I was saying that there are three things I often mention in this kind of conversation: monitor, measure, and optimize performance.
Right.
Okay. Now, if you're monitoring and you're measuring, you're getting data. So, right from the get go, for every business, you should be tracking what you're doing, you should be getting data and also monitoring your industry. There are tools out there you can use to do these. We can have that conversation on another day. But if you're doing these two, then you should start seeing some insights. And insights are actionable observations from the data that you've got. Okay. And then you have the chance to optimize those. So, what we're going to talk about for Q3 and Q4 is how do you optimize what you've observed from the beginning of the year? That's how, this works.
I see. So as we're in August, that means that some businesses have already lived through more than half of this year. From your
Yeah.
perspective as a marketing and communications consultant, what should businesses be asking themselves about their marketing at this point? Before we get into all the things we have to talk about, should the question be, did our marketing work, or that's too simplistic?
That's the exact question. Did it work? Did we focus on the right things? Did we have the right people in place? Did we have the right tools in place? So it's a whole like audit,
Right.
and then you reset. So you audit your marketing over the 2 quarters that have gone and ask yourself, did it work? Where do we need to focus? Because the truth is, and let me say this even before we get, deep into it. A lot of businesses do a lot of marketing as though it's just activities, a list of activities, and they copy what other businesses are doing or what their peers are doing, without necessarily asking the question whether that's exactly what they need to do in their business. Okay, so you need to have this audit before you make any, progress.
But is that wrong to look at other businesses and decide to do what they are doing? Because sometimes, we're
Yeah.
told that you should monitor your competition, and then, or your competitor, and then whatever they are doing, you can be able to adapt. Is it wrong?
Uh, Definitely monitor them, but the context should be the same, or they should be relevant to your context or your business. Hope you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
The fact that let's say you're a food business, okay, your competitor has gone to sign on a celebrity as an influencer. So you also think you should go and sign on an influencer when maybe the kind of food business you are in, you don't necessarily need an influencer, or you haven't got a budget to hire that kind of influencer. So you might, go and take all the money. Yes, influencer marketing works, but you need to ask yourself is, would it work for me, my business, where I am today? So like most businesses, you do a situation analysis and you do the audit. And you ask yourself, what my competitor is doing, is it relevant to me? Should I be doing the same thing, or maybe I should be doing something else? Okay, what will work for me?
I see. All right. Now let's put ourselves in the shoes of a business owner who is listening to us right now. Maybe they set some ambitious targets in January, and by now they are behind that target. At what point should they accept that the strategy isn't working and probably make a change rather than simply hoping that the remaining months will somehow turn things around?
I'll say yesterday. Yeah, because you see, what I expect every business to do is have systems in place to be able to track whether it's weekly, daily, or monthly. So you begin to see the trend, you begin to see what's working and what's working. Don't wait till the end of Q2, Q1, Q3, or whatever to begin to query what you're doing. I hope you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
Yes. You don't do that. And the reason for that is that today with digital, there are so many tools out there that you can use. I mean, every business now that uses even WhatsApp business
Yeah.
will know how many people, for example, receive their messages, how many orders come from the WhatsApp that you've sent, things like that.
Yeah.
So you begin to understand what is working and what's not working in real time often. Okay. But if you are waiting till some kind of like date to do this reset, then you are, I mean, I don't know how to put it. Then you are not doing the right things. You are not monitoring and measuring what you're doing in real time. And that's what you're supposed to be doing. If you are a big organization and you are the CEO, the MD, or whatever, you should be asking questions.
All right.
So, for example, this one I was chatting to a couple of mentees. Now, saying to them that your social media company might come to you and say, "Oh, we've increased our followers by let's say 5,000,
Yeah.
by 10,000, or whatever." Those are nice to have, but the real question as a CEO, as a business owner, should be asking is, how are those converting into sales? How are those converting into business? Don't wait till half year to ask that question. Every month they should be presenting to you the report for the month on social media and ask that question. Nice figures, nice numbers. How are they converting into sales? That's the question you should be asking.
I see. All right. No, let's get into that proper. So if I'm
Okay.
a so what should we be looking at apart from the sales, or what are some of the things that maybe you can take us through it properly? So if I'm a business owner today and I want to conduct a
Mm,
proper marketing reality check today, what
mm.
things should I be looking at?
All right, thank you. So for every business at the beginning of the year, you should have your objectives. What do we want to achieve this year?
All right.
Okay, we want to let's say increase our turnover by 20%, and then you break it down to month on month how much you want to achieve. That's one. Number two, want to let's say increase our operations by maybe bringing on board, let's say again, a lot of food businesses bringing on board two new motorbikes to do deliveries. Okay, and that should be linked to number of plates that you're going to serve. So you're increasing the number of plates that you are serving. Maybe we should bring on a dessert chef because we've been doing just basic or desserts. Now I want to bring on a dessert chef who serves prepare specialized desserts. So you have all these targets that you set, objectives that you set beginning of the year. Then those should be linked with numbers, not just sales figures, but also numbers. For example, in terms of let's say, if you have a fleet of motorbikes that do your deliveries, how much time each motorbike should be on the road, and reduce the number of hours or days they are spending at the garage, for example. So these are all numbers you should be looking at. Now, if you have these in place at the beginning of the year, then month on month, you should see your monthly targets and be reviewing them monthly, if not even weekly, at your ESCO meetings. Okay. Now, if you do this, then by now, by Q2, for example, you should have a clear idea of the trend, the pattern, what's happening. Yes, for some businesses, they are seasonal. So you may find that by now they are probably not on track, but it's because the peak season is, let's say, in Q3 and Q4. You understand what I mean? So for
Yeah.
those businesses, you find that the objectives, the KPIs, would vary month on month based on the seasons. But the most important thing to do is look at what you agreed or you set yourself to achieve at the beginning of the year. And it's like a mirror. Ask yourself, what is the performance showing? Are we on track? Where is the gap? What do we need to do to close the gap? Or maybe we set ourselves too high a target, and so we need to reset it. Because sometimes also too high a target discourages and demotivates the people and the workforce, and you end up not challenging yourself. Or you set too low a target, so you've overachieved, and you need to challenge yourself. Otherwise, you'll be just doing mediocre stuff when you have the capacity to do more.
So it starts on, first of all, looking at the objectives. What do you look at next after you've seen the objectives and you've seen that, okay, this is what we are
So
set out to do?
once you've set the objectives, once you set the objectives, then you associate numbers to them. So often we say set smart objectives: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. Okay. So for example, let's say you are a bank. Okay. So from the beginning of the year, the board should meet with the ESCO and give them a target. So this year we want to increase our turnover by, let's say, 20% by the end of the year. That's specific. That's a specific metric, the turnover or deposit mobilization. That's specific, and it's realistic because we are basing it on our previous performance and the resources that we have. It's time bound by the end of the year. Okay, so you are setting KPIs related to the objectives that you've set, and like I said, you break them down to monthly, so small bites, monthly targets, so you'll be able to track whether or not you are on you are really achieving your targets. Once you've done that, one of the other things you need to do also is, ideally in every business, this should be communicated to the entire workforce so everybody knows what they contribute to the achievement of these targets.
Right.
Now, this is important. I've often said that in every business, even the driver contributes to the target. Imagine a driver who needs to take salespeople to go and visit clients to collect money or whatever, or to go and pitch. And when you're looking for them to move, their phone will be off, or they've gone to buy watch or gone to buy cocoa. So you're spending time delaying the appointment. Number two, he doesn't even know how to use Google Maps, and so he's getting in traffic. These are all things that drivers of this age should do. The same way, everybody, IT, for example, in the business, IT should know that we depend on the IT resources to be able to run the business. So how much downtime should we have on the server, for example? How often is our website down? If it's an e-commerce business, if our website is down, it means we can't take orders. So how often is our website down? These are all ways that you set the way that every department and every employee contributes to the achievement of the target.
Right.
So at the beginning of the year, when you set these objectives and the targets, they should be drilled down to every employee. I hope you understand what I mean.
Yes, I get it.
And then of the appraisals and the feedback that goes on, whether monthly or whatever, so that everybody's contributing, and at the end of the day, we all contribute to the big target that we have for the organization.
So that is something you do at the beginning. And if you want to review it, you're saying that you go back to it and then you look at, okay, these are the things that we say we have to do. And, I mean, in checking whether you've been able to do those things effectively, you're saying that we need to have data, get the data from there, right?
Exactly.
So from the data, are we looking at the number of sales that has been made? Are we looking at how people are aware of the brand? Are we looking at the customer acquisition, maybe social media performance, conversion, and all of these things? Or it is just in line with the objective?
So the objectives are multiple. So they may include sales.
Yeah.
That's why we're talking about turnover. They may include social media presence.
Right.
For example, because we know that contributes. So you see different lines or different metrics that you are measuring. Okay. So for example, most organizations, what you do is the organization may have 5 big objectives to achieve for the year. It doesn't mean that we are not doing the other things, but those are the big 5 for us for the year. Okay. For example, we're a bank. This year, we want to introduce a new app for example, because every bank now has an app. We want to, for example, reduce the footfall to our banking hall, and the app is going to help us be able to reduce the number of people who come to our banking hall. All those things. We want to reduce the customer complaints. How? We want to make sure that we're introducing, let's say, a chat bot, so that people are using the bot and FAQs to be able to address their challenges and not have to call the call center and be upset and lose customers. So these are all targets that you set.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
So those
So
are the things.
sales is only one of them. Social media is another one. But what I'll say about social media in particular is that social media should not be a standalone, should not be on its own, because the mistake people make is that they end up focusing on the social media numbers without looking at how that converts to the bottom line. And that's a mistake.
Right. So talking about social media, so how will somebody know whether their marketing is actually working beyond the numbers you're talking about? So, for instance, likes, views, even followers and comments. How would they know that their marketing is working?
So, for example, for every lead that comes in, okay, you need to ask, where did you hear about us? What's the source of that lead?
Okay.
I'm sure for a lot of our listeners, when they fill forms, they will often be asked, where did you hear about this event? Whatever. You want to track the source of the lead, okay, so that we'll be able to even make a decision as to which ones are working for us and which ones are not. Social media, if let's say you have a Facebook page, you got 100,000 people, for example, okay, when you post lead ads, okay, how many of them are converting? So how many of your leads are coming from social media, for example? Okay, you are doing WhatsApp marketing, for example. When you send your brochure, when you send new list of new products, for example, how many people are WhatsApping you to reply to it, to make inquiries about it? Then you can tell whether or not it's working.
Right. Let's take a scenario. So
Yes.
let's look at a company. Let's say a company, started out this year, spent significantly on maybe advertising in the first half of the year. And what they are saying is that their social media following has grown significantly. The content also gets the attention that it deserves, but sales haven't grown in the same proportion. Would you tell that business that it has maybe a marketing problem, a sales problem, a product problem, or possibly a combination of all of these three? How do you really diagnose where the real problem is?
If I heard you right, you're saying that social media is doing well, but you're not seeing improvement in, let's say, the sales. Is
Yes,
that what you're
sales.
saying?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. The first question you need to ask is that on social media, one, have you got the right target audience on your platform?
Okay.
Okay. So it's not everybody that you need to target. I mean, you can easily, I'll give you an example. I used to work for a company that manufactured and distributed milk, for example, okay, a milk brand in Ghana.
Yeah.
Somebody sat in front of me and said they could give us 10 million views for our YouTube audience. And the question I asked them was, how did you do that? They said to me they had done it for Sarkodie. And I said, that's the mistake. Sarkodie's target audience are not the same as this milk brand. That's number one.
Right.
Number two, if you know Ghana's population, okay, you know the digital landscape, you know that, let's say, there are only 8 million plus people on social media. Okay. So you can't tell me you give me 10 million people, even if 100% of all the people on social media are my target audience. In which case, what it means is that he's probably going to get me followers on my social media from other markets who I can't sell to. So while it's nice to have them, they are of no value to me when it comes to sales.
Yeah.
And that's why when you do your social media analytics, you look at the demographics. Where are most of your people coming from? Do you understand what I'm
Yes, I
saying?
get it.
The age groups, for example, for every brand, you should know which age group is your target market. You are a business, you operate in Accra, you don't have the capacity to ship or sell to Tamale. And yet, most of the people on your platform are from Tamale, maybe because you went to school in Tamale or your family's in Tamale. That's nice to have. But your real focus should be asking yourself whether or not you have enough people in Accra seeing your content. That's number one. So making sure you have got the right target audience. Number two, your content tells your story. Okay. So what's your content strategy? And we often say that communicate value. Okay. And when your content communicates value, people want to come for more. Okay. And that's why I'm sure you heard me say, for example, that if you are a bank, don't be the bank that gives interest-free loans, but be the bank that helps customers to get the most out of their money. So give them, for example, savings tips, investment tips, things like that. Be that bank. Okay. And those things, they don't pay you for it, but that's what positions you as the brand that cares. And so when they come around looking for a bank to save with, it's you they will come to because you've given them value. We call it the value cycle. You understand what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Yeah.
In the same in the same way, if you are a tomato brand, okay, we know tomatoes play a big part in food in Ghana. Don't be the brand that sells the most tomatoes, simple as that. But be the brand that gives people ideas on how to manage their diet. But people are looking for healthy eating tips. They're looking for ways to save on food. They're looking for ways to uh, reduce wastage. So if you are the brand that is giving them these tips on your platform, then you are bringing them back every day to come and look for value.
Right.
You are not always saying, come and buy, come and buy, come and buy, come and buy. So that's the second one. Okay. Now that should tell you these two, at least these two, should give you reasons why you are not converting from your social media. Are you okay? And then, for example, if you are running ads, you're not getting the right results, for example, ask yourself, are you running the right ads? Now, I often tell clients that all the platforms run what we call objective-based advertising. What it means is that for every ad that you are running, determine what you want to achieve. Otherwise, you only get likes. And likes, nobody likes to go chop. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
What are you? If it's a video about a new product, you are looking to create awareness. Okay.
Yeah.
So looking for video views, and from there, should they click to your website to the product page to review the product, things like that. Okay. And ask yourself also, last one, ask yourself also that even in your content, are you jumping some of the hurdles in the consumer uh, market cycle? So, for example, you're moving them straight without even investing in awareness. You're looking for conversion.
Okay.
You are jumping some hurdles in the customer journey. Don't do that. Without creating enough awareness, people, you cannot convert. Because if you have a new product today and you haven't created awareness about the product, people will go to the shops and they won't be able to find that product. Well, they don't know what it is and they won't pick it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I get it.
Even for old products, for existing products, when you rebrand, I mean, what we call rebranding in Ghana, even though it's not the full rebranding that I would like people to understand, we as marketing people, when let's say you change your packaging, for example, communicate what has changed. So when people go to the shops, they'll be able to see what is new and pick the new one. Otherwise, they get lost. They're still looking for the old packaging. Okay. So
Yeah.
these are some of the reasons why you may find that you are not converting. Last one, are you even on the right platform? I'm a consultant. Okay. Now, I love TikTok. I love Instagram. But for a lot of businesses that I expect to do business with me, that's not where they go to look for people like me. So I should be active on emails, on LinkedIn, and on my website. And also looking at speaking engagements and webinars and things like that. That's where I showcase my thought leadership. I'm not Malta Guinness. I'm not Pepsodent. I'm not Didi Shito. I'm not Kivo, well, Kivo Gary. Those ones will do very well, all singing and dancing skits on TikTok and other places. Yes, if in my trainings and things, I get some sound bites, or I decide to do a series, there will be sound bites that really encourage people. Like the title for our conversation today, okay?
Yeah.
That is catchy. Something like that. we can animate it and it becomes a short video that I will put on TikTok or Instagram to drive traffic. But that shouldn't be where I spend a lot of my time. So again, ask yourself as a brand, on which platforms are you most active? The fact that the platform is very big doesn't mean that you should be active on it and spend all your money on that platform.
Right.
These are questions you should be asking as the marketing manager, marketing director, or whatever, or as the CEO, you should be asking your marketing team.
I see. All right. I could say, hold on for me. Let me just announce the phone lines in case anybody wants to join the conversation this morning. So if you just tuned in, this is Business Breakfast on Z101.9 FM with me, Nitra Bihamon. And this morning, we're doing a Q3 reality check. And we're talking about 5 marketing moves to be able to finish 2026 strong. Some people often defer or they say that we're already halfway through the year, or we've done a significant part of the year, and so because of that, let me just wait for next year and then I start my planning again. But we are being told this morning that that is not the right way. Why would you waste the rest of the year when you can actually do a reality check and then correct a few things before you finish the year? And that is what we're talking about this morning. You're free to join us. Send us a WhatsApp if you want to ask questions, you want to be part of the conversations. You can send us a WhatsApp on 0544 321019, 0544 321019, or you can also call us on 030395661, 030395661, and then we give you the opportunity to ask your questions or make your comments this morning. You can also drop a comment under our live stream on Facebook. We're streaming live at ZFMGH, and on YouTube we're at Z Multimedia. Please feel free to drop a comment and we'll read all of them for you. My guest is Stephen Nanasebudi. He is a marketing and communications consultant, and he joins me over the phone lines. All right, I'm gonna say let's come back to the conversation, and I want us to quickly jump onto the 5 moves that you want our listeners to know. What things, that practical things that they have to do. I mean, I know you've mentioned a few of them in bits and pieces, but the 5 ones that you want to share with our listeners this morning, let's share that so that we can now begin to break them down one after the other.
Okay, excellent. So the first one I would advise them to do now is stop looking at the annual target. You've already done 2 quarters. Stop looking at the annual target. Calculate and focus on the gap to target. Okay.
Can you explain that?
Now, yeah. If you look at just the annual target, that's deceptive. You need to calculate where you are and the gap. Okay, so let's say beginning of the year, you set yourself out to, in terms of revenue, you wanted 10 million, okay, and you've only achieved 3.5 million now. The gap is 6.5 million, and so that gives you a better picture of the task. Okay. And remember, we're talking about marketing. Marketing is it's like cover. It's like providing the cover for you to be able to go out, or going ahead of you to be able to go and do the sales and generate the revenue. Now, if you're still looking at the 10 million, then it's a bit deceptive. You need to calculate this and be able to, all right, we've got 6.5 million to focus on. The marketing strategy we need to implement, okay, needs to deliver 6.5. Now, the old one, which was for 10 million, has only delivered 3.5. So it means we need to review it and look at where we need to. And for the 6.5, we only got 4 months. So your even monthly target is different. Hope you understand what I mean.
Yes, I get it.
So this immediately changes the marketing conversation.
Okay.
It's now about whether or not what you've done so far has worked. If you've got a big gap, then it means what you've been doing so far has not worked. You need to go back to the drawing board. Okay. And this is where marketing becomes a growth management function. What it means is that now the new target that you've got, the revised target, or the gap that you've seen, you need to challenge your marketing team to say, hey, this is what we really need to do. It's like traveling from here to Kumasi. You want to get there in 6 hours, and by 4 hours you're still around let's see, in Nkoko. Then it tells you how harder you need to step on the accelerator to be able to get there. I hope you get what I mean.
I get the picture.
Or Or if you do a holistic review, you may find that actually the 10 million target that you set was unrealistic. Remember, we said that the objectives and the target should be smart.
Smart, yeah.
Yes. So let's take the COVID year. The COVID year, we started in January. A lot of businesses set their targets. By March, we were on lockdown. So let's say, for example, you were a barber shop. Let's give this way. You were a barber shop. You expected that people would be coming to the shop to cut their hair. Now, because of lockdown, people are not coming to the shops to cut their hair. So if you plan to achieve, let's say, 1 million a year, obviously for about 6 months, you're not going to be opening a shop. So that 1 million that you set for the year, you need to review it. Or let's say in that year, let's say it's August now, the lockdown has been lifted, but we've lost so much at the beginning from the beginning of the year. So now you need to look at the 4 months that's left. If you still want to achieve the 1 million, what do you need to do to increase, for example, the number of hairs you cut per day? Do you need to bring in another barber so you have more seats for people to sit in, for example? Do you need to maybe put an AC in the barbering shop so it looks more posh, so you can charge a bit more premium? All those things, you need to look at them. But until you've done this and seen the gap, you wouldn't know the real challenge for marketing.
I see. All right. So I'm going to ask some follow-up questions, but let's move on to let's list all of them, and then now we can come back one after the other. So what is the next thing to do? What is the number 2 thing to do?
Number 2 is resegment your markets. Okay. Don't try to sell to everybody. Now, this is so true. Beginning of the year, you may decide that, during Christmas you had a bumper sale. Okay. So you think, it's going to continue for the rest of the year. But the data, if you look at it, should tell you that a lot of your sales, let's say you are an Airbnb, the data should tell you that a lot of the people that came were travelers, people who came for December and GH and things like that. Okay. And because you didn't look at the data, you thought that same volume or that same revenue that you were, accruing in December will continue throughout the year. And now it's August, you found that no, that's not coming in. You need to reset your target. Now you need to ask yourself, actually, the people are not coming. So who do I need to target? Now you need to look at, for example, some local tourism opportunities, for example. Okay, if you have a restaurant, you need to look at, all right, we're doing very well because a lot of people were staying with us. Now people are not staying. We need to look at, let's say, cooking for events outside the hotel, for example, if you're a hotel. Or look at the event sector where, for example, by now we're planning, all right, a lot of people have their weddings around this time. So you're targeting the weddings that people will use our venue for their weddings and things. So you are resetting your segment of your market segment,
right?
Okay, who your target is. Okay, and you see, when you look at this, you find that the customers who are contributing the most, okay, are the ones that are making you profitable. Okay, they are bringing you the frequency in purchases. They are also the ones that you're getting the most from. So they begin to focus more on those things and neglect the ones that have not been consistent. Because, for example, like I said, if you're a hotel and you got a lot of business from December, okay, by now all the people have gone back. They are not doing any repeat business. It's only the local people who are doing repeat business, whether it's for conferences or short stay and things like that. So you need to refocus on them. What deals can you give them? What promos can you give the local people to be able to keep them coming back? So you can increase the profitability per each one.
Right. I see. Okay, so that is for the resetting your target market or resegmenting your target market.
Yeah, resegmenting your target market. Yes.
Okay. What are the rest of the things as well? I want us to quickly, because of our time, so that I don't spend too much time on the two and then. So let's quickly run through them.
The third one is move from campaigns to conversion. Now this is very, very important. A lot of businesses focus on just campaigns. Let's run this promo. Buy one, get one free. Let's give away, deposit to win. All those things. Okay. Now, instead of focusing on just campaigns that you want to do, focus on conversion. So for each campaign that you are planning to do, ask yourself, what's the conversion? How many people are we going to convert? If it's not bringing you the conversion you need, don't execute that campaign.
Okay.
And for some of them, if you are, like we're talking about data here, if you are tracking it, let's say you started off running a campaign and it's for 1 month. If by the end of the first week you are not seeing the results you're supposed to be seeing realistically, it's all right to discontinue it because you're not getting conversion. There's no point in spending more money.
Okay. Right. So you don't
Yeah.
have to continue. But you see, sometimes just by way of follow up, just sometimes many people think that, of course, we're talking about the last 4 months of the year. Many people think that towards the end, towards specifically Q4, is all about promos and things. Is that what it's supposed to be? Because I mean, around that time, people are doing Black Fridays and all of those things. Is that what it's supposed to be?
It's not. It's not. It shouldn't be the case for every business. So it's not blanket. That's the point I'm making.
Okay.
Okay. Again, look at my business. Okay, I'm a consultant. For me, November, December, and January are very key because
Right.
a lot of businesses are planning for the new year. So they are going through sessions like what we are doing for free now. So
Yeah.
I should target those, okay, and get bookings for them. By now, I should be sending out proposals, getting booked for the November, December, January boot camps where where the businesses are going to be planning for the new year. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So Black Friday is not relevant to me, my kind of business. And my peak season is not around that time. But for typical sales businesses, that's fine. I'll even add this. I don't know whether you saw a post I did this week. There's a client that I have, and they've opened a watch and a luxury watch shop. Okay,
Okay.
another item. So it's a gifting shop, but it's mainly watches. And just beginning of August, we had something we call Blue Circle, where we invited clients and prospects to come in, enjoy a bit of music, a bit of food and drinks, and also shop for watches. But we wanted to educate them about watches. We want to create this culture of gifting, and that watches are great gift items. That's number one. And also, watches are also collector items, if you understand what I mean. So I want to grow this culture because in Ghana, most people, when you say, give me a gift, I want to give you a gift, they say, send me Momo. But you understand what I mean? Now, we did this beginning of August, it's mid-year, okay? But we're looking ahead to Black Friday and also to the December, which is the peak gifting period. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So for this August, yes, we wanted people to come in, but our main focus was to capture data.
Okay.
Everybody that passed through, make sure we had their details. And we're inviting them back, I think in 2 months, we're inviting them back for a night with pizza or whatever. And then that will launch us into the Black Friday.
Wow.
And after Black Friday, so you see, you are building
You're
up.
building, yes.
So what we're doing now is creating awareness and recruiting a fund, recruiting customers. They don't all have to buy, but at least we're bringing them into our fold. We're creating the love for them. We're making them aware that, hey, that nice Tissot watch you want to buy or whatever, you don't need to order it from Amazon. We've got them here, and they are real ones. You get what I mean?
Makes a lot of sense.
So the point so the point I'm making is that it's not only November, December, that's the peak season for every business.
Every business, right?
Okay.
And I think that's important for every business to understand, so that you don't just go and give free money or go and cut prices and all of that. But does promotion specifically means cutting prices?
No, it's varied. For example, this campaign we did, okay, some of the watches were on sale, but we made sure it was some, not everything. Now, some promos people run is that everything down by 20%. Sometimes that gives the impression that everything is cheap.
Yeah.
So focus on selected brands. A promo also could mean, let's say, buy the item and get an accessory free. So you find that, or even like the car company, somebody will say that buy this car and you get 6 months free service at our after sales service show garage,
Right.
things like that. Okay, so it doesn't always have to be a reduction in price. There are different things that you do. There are different bundles that you can do to give the customers.
Absolutely. All right, let's move to the fourth marketing move so that we can wrap up with
The fourth one is make your existing customers your biggest growth opportunity.
Okay.
Now, your existing customers are like the choir in the church. They are converted. Or your youth leaders, they are converted. Now, what you need to do is enable them, empower them to go out there and tell your story and bring other people on in. And this is where there's a chain that I often recommend. People buy the first time. If they like the products, they buy again, they buy more, they buy higher value, they refer someone, then they become your advocate. So you've got existing customers, they bought at least once. How can you get them to buy again? The way you do that is through the engagement you have with them.
With
For
them.
example, for example, somebody came to buy. I'll give you again. Let me give you the example of the barber shop. During the COVID, for example, I had a client who had a premium barber shop. And I said to him, call the people who can't come because of the COVID. Ask them, how are you managing your hair? Give them tips on how to manage your hair. You are showing interest in them. That way, so you want to retain them. The time that as soon as COVID was over, they were coming back.
Wow.
So you are kind of like making your existing customers your real marketing part of your marketing tools. So you want them to come back, give them opportunity, give them reason to come back and buy more, because one, they love your brand. Okay, for as long as they didn't complain, they love your brand. They've got a community. They can tell people, they can tell about how much they love your brand. People are always asking for referrals. I often say that everybody is an influencer. When you wake up in the morning and you're looking for a new car to buy, you go to your old school WhatsApp and say, who knows a good car dealer?
Right.
What's the best car to buy now?
Yeah.
And you find people giving you suggestions. They are influencers. So it's not just celebrities who are influencers. Now, these are ordinary, everyday customers who know people they can refer you to. So we want to get referrals through that. That's why I say they buy the first time, they buy again, they buy more, buy higher value. So the last time I bought a Fossil watch, now I want a Tissot watch because I've seen that this is premium. I'm now not just buying watch for the fashion, but I'm buying it as collector items. So I'm buying higher value one. I refer someone else, okay? Then I become an advocate. I go out there and I vow that everybody, if you want a place to go for a real deal in terms of watches, go to Blue Strap. That's what we do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And the last one,
just before you mention that, let me connect it to your very first point. So if I need to,
yes,
find the remaining 6.5 million of my annual target, why might my existing customers be one of the first places I should look?
Thank you very much. Because they already know, they've experienced it. So it's not difficult to sell it to them. Okay. I'll give you another example. Okay. You are a baker, you make cakes. Beginning of the year, I ordered a cake for my small boy. His birthday was in February. Okay.
Yeah.
Now you need to see, but because of the way that the booking was done, you found out that I've got other children as well. Okay. What you need to do is target me as the person to target for more cake orders.
Okay.
Because by all means, if they are like the first cake that you delivered in February, when my second son's birthday is in July, I'll by all means be ordering a cake.
That's true.
Position yourself as the person to order the cake from. By doing that, now you've got 2 orders from me. So you maximize the customer lifetime value in terms of even just the year. I might have my nephew who also has his birthday in August. And as an uncle, I want to order a cake. So position yourself as the one to order the cake from for that nephew. Before you know it, I'm ordering 6 cakes from you in the year. Okay?
I get it. Yeah.
Same way you love your kaftans. Okay? But you've got, maybe somebody made a blue, a turquoise, and a black one for you. Ordinarily, you don't think that for every occasion you need a new kaftan. But then because he's keeping the channel open, he made you happy, he did a good deal for you. If he DMs you and says that I've got new fabrics that have just arrived, I think this navy blue will look nice on you. Let's sew this one. Because you've already got one from him and you like the fit and all those things, okay, you are not planning to buy it, but you think it's nice to have in your wardrobe for as long as you can afford it. Sometimes you can't even afford it, but you look for the money to buy because you like the fact that he gives you good kaftans and he sews very well for you.
Right. Right. Makes a lot of sense. So let's move to the last one because of our time.
Yeah, so the last one is more about technology. So put AI and data at the center of the marketing reset.
Okay.
We've talked a lot about data. You need to make what I call data-driven decisions. Everything that you are doing for the rest of the year, make sure that it's backed by data. And that data should be available if you were tracking from the beginning of the year. And look for tools that will help you to track that. But put AI to use, because these days, you see, what you find is that if with a few lessons, you can use AI for many things. For example, for customer segmentation, you may have a spreadsheet. Just pop the spreadsheet into your Claude or your ChatGPT and ask the right query to, for example, segment them into high value customers and whatever. It will segment it for you. You don't need to get any you don't need to employ somebody to do that for you. So you are your own whatever. In terms of content production, using it to create your videos and things like that. Okay, so you are minimizing costs in this sense. Use technology to minimize costs. Your market research, your competitor intelligence. These are all things that you use AI to do. Even, for example, for a small business, using AI and in this case, WhatsApp bot to manage the calls, to manage the inquiries that people are running. Because, for example, a lot of businesses are running back to school now because kids are going back to school. Okay. And you are promoting your products on WhatsApp or on Instagram. And what a lot of people are doing is they go and they post almost 20 items. People like the items, they want to make inquiries, but they've gone to sleep. They are not active in their DMs. If you are using a bot, the bot can begin to answer some of the questions that are irregular. So, for example, people may be asking, if you haven't posted the price, they may be asking you, what's the price? What are the sizes? All those things. Those details may not be there. Can you do a delivery? These are standard questions that you can train the bot to answer for you. Because the behavior is that when the customer wants answers to this minute and they don't get it, they'll move on to the next seller. And it's like a bit like on the high street. Everybody is screaming for customers to come and buy from them. So if you're not available to engage them, they'll move on to the next seller, move on to the next shop. So leverage AI to do the things that are repetitive, the things that you don't have all the time to do, the things that you can't afford to employ people to do for you, and use it to do that.
I see. Wow, that's very good. Let me see if I can bring all the five together. So you're essentially saying that businesses shouldn't panic because the year hasn't gone exactly as planned. They should, look at what they've achieved and the opportunities that actually remain, and then rethink who they are targeting. Move from simply running campaigns to creating compelling promotions, and also protect the customers that they already have, and finally use technology, particularly AI, to become smarter and more efficient, isn't it?
Yeah, the bit you mentioned about campaigns, what I said was that they shouldn't focus on campaigns, focus on conversion.
Okay.
So not
Conversion.
just the campaign that we run the campaign, we are trending. That's not good enough.
Okay.
What was the conversion? What was the goal? Okay.
Yeah.
So we're running this campaign. Believe it or not, MTN, for example, is saying they're running a 30-year promo. Okay, giving away cars. Now, they may not tell you, but one, they want to increase the affinity with the customer. They want to position themselves as the brand that gives to customers. So they're not just giving cars. They may not, but also you see that over that period that they're running this promo, a lot of people will be porting to MTN because they're falling in love with how generous MTN is. So it's not directly a sales campaign, but still the conversion is there. They want to convert people. They want to increase the number of customers. They want to increase their customer base. They want to increase customer loyalty, meaning and also increase the how much, for example, customers are spending with them and the kind of products the customers are making inquiries about. They also want to increase their share of voice, their talkability. Coincidentally, you may have heard that this week, for example, the MTN board chairman spoke about the xenophobia and all that's going on in South Africa, for example, because while they are doing this, all those things, being a South African company, all those things that are happening in South Africa could kind of like damage the reputation of the business. Even though they're giving away cars and things, they should be perceived as very giving. Their reputation should be very high. if they don't also sound sympathetic to Ghanaians who are being attacked in South Africa, that could be futile.
That's true.
So you see how it works. It's not
Yeah.
always that a campaign has a sales target or the conversion is sales. Conversion could be many things.
Yeah.
But the key thing is that look right from the beginning of every campaign, from the get-go, what is the conversion? What are we hoping to achieve?
Right.
And focus on that instead of just running a campaign.
Okay, so if a business owner can implement only one of these 5 moves that we've mentioned, maybe before the end of this month, which one would you tell them to start with, and why?
I would say if they can't, well, I don't want to be selective. I think they can do all together, but the one I'll probably, if I'm pushed, I'll say the one where they need to focus on the existing customers and increase the value of those customers. Not just how much those individual customers are spending with them, but also the capacity for those customers to bring on board their friends and family. Because we all like a good deal. When we find a good deal, we want to tell our friends and family about a good deal. So you find that people will be coming to the what you do is that, let's say if it's a promo, if you refer somebody, you get 5%. The person you've also referred gets another 5%.
5%,
So you
right.
see, there's a win-win for everyone. That is easy to execute.
Right. Okay, Nasser, thank you very much for your time. I'm really grateful for making time. Yeah, thank you. Do enjoy the rest of your day.
Awesome.
All right.
Speak to you soon.
All right,
Yeah?
sure. Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. So that was Stephen Nasebwedi. He is marketing and communications consultant. He joined me this morning talking about what moves to make towards the end of this year to transform your marketing in your company. And he's mentioned five things. And unfortunately, I can't go through all of them for you now. But if you missed any part of this conversation, you can go straight to our YouTube channel and play this conversation back and make a lot of sense of it. Thanks so much to him, and thanks to you too for listening to us. We're really grateful. We're back again tomorrow for some more interesting conversations. Until then, please keep listening to Z101.9 FM. My name is Nitra B. Hammond, and up next is The Brighter Side with Jeremy Okoria Mwako. Bye-bye.